All right, hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I want to start something that hopefully will continue, and that's responding to some of the feedback that I'm getting from you. Some people I'm having conversations, because I'm having many conversations, or as many as I can at this point, speaking to people about discipleship, but then also obviously through the channel. And so one thing that's come up is this whole idea of, or question of, one-on-one discipleship versus small group discipleship. Kind of, is one better than the other? If I'm doing one to the exclusion of the other, is that a problem? So just kind of want to address that issue. And I want to do it just starting off with Matthew 17, where Jesus was speaking with Peter after the tax collectors were asking him about Jesus and whether Jesus paid the taxes or not. So Peter went back, and it says to the house. When he went into the house, he didn't even say anything. Jesus was the one who started the conversation about this whole issue. And so he then told Peter to go throw his line, go catch a fish. When he caught the fish, he had 2 drachma, I believe, right? 2 coins, one to pay the taxes for Jesus and one to pay the taxes for Peter, right? And so we have this instance of what seems to be now a one-on-one encounter, right? So now the text does not say that they were alone, that there was no one else in the house or in the room. So we don't really know, but certainly we see this one-on-one aspect, right? So we have that one-on-one aspect of discipleship, if you will, and we see that with Jesus, okay? But then, obviously, right, he was with the disciples and they were in a group. Sometimes there was a few of them. Peter, James, and John went up on the mountain. So you have within the group, within the larger group, we have these various situations, various dynamics where there's a one-on-one, maybe a few within the group, and then obviously the entire group. So there seems to be, guess the whole idea is that all of them are valid. But I think the context of all of them is that they're still all a part of the larger group. But you don't have to do everything all the time as the large group. You can, if someone has an issue, it's absolutely valid to then move to the one-on-one strategy, if you will. So I guess to simply answer the question, both are valid, and I think the one-on-one should be done, however, within the context of the larger. So having said that, I kind of want to look at just some of the limitations of one-on-one discipleship where that's the only thing you've got going on. So now in John 17, and just look at just a couple of verses here, actually 3. So John 17:20, my prayer is not for them alone. Now Jesus is referring to his first disciples, but I pray also for those who believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. So there's this all of them idea, okay? So that's Jesus's prayer, okay? And I think when he prayed that prayer, he had something in this whole idea of community, this all of them, this would represent community. I think he has in mind more than just 2 people. Now, of course, where 2 or more are gathered, there I am in the midst. Is that valid? Absolutely. But what I'm just talking about discipleship and this whole idea of community, and just the importance of that, going beyond just a one-on-one mentality, okay? So Romans 12:4-5. For just as each of us has one body with many members, and these members do not all have the same function, so in Christ we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. So just think about that. We belong to one another and to all the members of the body, right? So again, we have a picture of something that's beyond just a one-on-one type of situation. Again, can one-on-one be valid? Yes, but I think that's within the context of a more an all of them mindset, okay? So then just this last verse, Ephesians 4:15-16. Instead, speaking the truth in love, we will in all things grow up into him who is the head, that is Christ. From him, the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. So again, we have a picture of something more than just one-on-one. I mean, the whole body, you want more than just an arm and a leg. You know what I mean? You want the whole thing, right? And so I think within any community, God wants to put a body together, if you will. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of a picture of discipleship. So, an illustration to further, illustrate. You know, imagine, and this is my situation, right? I grew up in a single parent home, right? So I didn't have grandparents and cousins, and for a couple years I saw my cousins just like, very shortly. But I'm saying as a regular part of your life. So if you grow up and you want, and of course this illustration assumes that people are healthy and positive and contributing, not perfect, but positive and healthy. So so what would be better? A single parent situation? And there's a lot of single parents doing an awesome job. But there's no doubt that whatever parent is there, you're still missing. If it's a mom, which is generally is the case, you're missing a dad and what the unique things that a father brings. If there are two sets of grandparents in that kid's life and they're all geared toward helping that child grow, or even as a family, we're all supporting one another. And then let's say you have siblings and, cousins, and you have this extended family, let's say, and you're all within proximity, and you all are regularly getting together, and you are all encouraging one another, right? The grandparents bring a perspective to, let's say, a child that the parents may not bring. The parents bring in another perspective. The aunts and uncles, everybody's coming at this one kid, so to speak, bringing a wealth of who they are from a different perspective. And I think that is the problem with one-on-one discipleship. As good as you are, as mature as you are, if you are the disciple maker, as much as you have to offer, you are still only one person with one perspective. The more people we can add to a group, the more synergy we have, if you will. Picture two people jumping in a pool and you want to get some momentum going. You know what I mean? Two people aren't going to make much of a current, but you get 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 people in that pool, and we are all going around, and we're all, circling around, if you will, the same objective. There's a lot more. We create a current, I believe, in the spiritual realm through the dynamic of the multiplicity, or through the dynamic of the joined parts of the body all coming together, as that verse said, each part doing its work to build one another up. So, can you do one-on-one discipleship? Yes, but if we do it the way Jesus modeled it for us, we will have that one-on-one aspect, but we will also have this greater dynamic where we have this momentum of the Spirit, because where there's more people involved, iron sharpens iron, right? So there's just something about that. Right? So, and of course, how blessed it is when brothers dwell together in unity. It's like the oil poured down on Aaron's head, over his beard, running down over his robes. And that is where God, and I believe the Hebrew actually says, commands the blessing. Okay? So there's this communal idea. And I think discipleship, when it's only one-on-one, it's while it's valid, it's lacking that aspect of it. So, and I think if you can only start with one-on-one, however, nothing wrong with that, right? That's where you are. That's where you're starting. What else can you do? I mean, Jesus started somewhere. Jesus started with just 2 guys, right? And then it grew from there. So, while a larger group may be the ideal, it may take some time to get there, right? So, but think about this also, okay? Let's say you are in that one-on-one situation and you are doing what Jesus said. You're going, you're serving, you're building those bridges to that will enable you at some point to share the gospel, and at some point others are added, right? Even if you're like, I like the one-on-one, I prefer the one-on-one. If you do what Jesus said and go, sooner or later people are going to be added to your group, and then you won't be doing one-on-one discipleship anymore because your group is growing, right? So, if we just want to do one-on-one only and then we're not going, then we're not growing, then, again, that would be a missing component of discipleship. You're saying I'm doing one-on-one, but I'm not going. with this, follow me as I follow Christ, right? Come, follow me. I will make you fishers of men. If that's what we're doing, like I said, that group will grow. So one-on-one will become a larger group, and it just won't, you won't have that as the main staple any longer. So is one-on-one valid? Yes. Is a small group discipleship valid? Absolutely. And I think it's just within the context, they both are valid, and we need to be led by the Spirit to know when do I need to maybe address somebody one-on-one within this group, or maybe I need to address a few, but we're all living in community, and that's the whole idea. So it's not really one or the other, which one is better. It's both are valid, and let's do both as we're led by the Spirit. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. If you're liking these videos and you believe that we need to have more conversations about discipleship, please like, subscribe, hit the bell so you'll get that reminder. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.